My daughter's a good mother. She's a straight good up mother.
That was Antoinette's mother defending her daughter, and once again, we have to repeat, this woman is just charged and accused of selling her 5-year-old daughter for sex. She has not been convicted of anything. I'm delighted to have with me on the phone Barbara Davenport, who is not only the Sleepy Hollow Mobile Home Park manager, and this is where the Davis sisters, Antoinette and her sister, lived, but she's also a retired sheriff's deputy. So she knows what she's talking about with the Major Crimes Unit. Barbara, you've been listening to all of this. Give us your analysis, and I know you want to weigh in.
Okay, well, yeah, I'd like to correct the issue of the drugs found at the residence.
Go ahead.
There was not a drug raid at their residence in Sleepy Hollow. This alleged raid took place July 25th when the sisters were residing on Wall Street.
Okay, but they did raid a home where these two were staying, and the police had said that. And you also looked at the police report, and being a retired sheriff's deputy from the Major Crimes Unit, tell us what you found there.
What I found was there was no indication of any drugs found or drugs seized. What was seized was a lot of evidence of manufacturing drugs for sale, such as little baggies, razor blades, that type of thing.
And what kind of drug would that point to? Did you get any indication in...
Based on the fact that they were using razor blades, I would surmise crack cocaine.
Don Clark, what do you make of it?
Well, you know, Jane, I understand what the deputy's saying and the fact of what they found there. But, you know, let's face it. If it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck, it probably is. Drugs had a lot to do with what took place here. I don't agree with it. I'm not going to give this mother any excuses whatsoever that she was getting money
It's not about giving. It's not about giving excuses. It's about understanding so we can prevent it from happening again. Justin Moss, reporter, WNCN. Bring us up to date on what you are learning.
Sure, Jane. We just got a briefing from Fayetteville Police just a short time ago. The latest is that they are now working with state authorities to exhume the body at this point. Then they will work to get a positive ID. As you said, we don't know at this point that it is Shaniya Davis, but police have called off the search. And they're not saying specifically what led them to that area where they found the body. It is, though, about 6 miles away from the area, the hotel, rather, where Shaniya was last seen. Police also telling us that assuming the body is Shaniya Davis, an autopsy should take a few days to complete, and they will need to figure out how and where the child died before any new charges could be filed in the case. Jane?
Well, you know, Shaniya's father had raised a child up until very recently. He told the early show he wanted to give her mom a chance to raise her. Listen.
Of course, you know, I had some reserves. However, you know, she had been trying. I know that she had been working for at least 6 months, and she had been trying to get her life back on track, and she said she had just recently got her own place, so I was wanting to give her a chance. She had asked if she could be a mother, and I felt that she was sincere in asking, and I figured to give her a chance.
So Justin, he says he wanted to give her another chance because she was getting her life together. Getting her life together from what? What was her rocky situation that she was recovering from?
Well, that's a good question. Up until this point, she has not been arrested on anything as far as we can tell from the Department of Correction. We have heard from family members that she did have some drug problems in the past, but as you said, the father was looking to give her another chance by giving her Shaniya just custody a few weeks ago. And
apparently Department of Social Services had been visiting one of the homes where the Davis family was located, correct?
Yeah, we're not clear on which home, whether it was at the mobile home park where Shaniya was when she was kidnapped, but we do know at this point that Department of Social Services has been involved.
Jane, the good news for prosecutors is they don't have to prove a motive. I know it always helps in the criminal arena, but it's going to almost be extraordinarily challenging to ever, unless she admits it to law enforcement, to figure out exactly, assuming she's guilty, why she did this. They just need to prove that she did it. Motive always helps, but it's not necessary legally.
Yeah, we're not trying to determine motive so that they can convict her. We're trying to determine motive for a different reason so that we can understand how something this horrific could allegedly occur so that we as a society can say, whoa, this is a big problem that leads to that. Dr. Dale Archer, if we don't start connecting the dots, we're just going to see more and more of these horrific crimes day in and day out. I personally am getting nauseated by this litany of horror that I have to recite every day.
And I think that's a huge important point there, Jane, is that drugs can take a mother and turn her into the seller of her child because of her drug habit. That is what needs to be pounded into America, that, look, these are evil because the craving for these drugs is more powerful than any other force in an addict.
Gotta leave it right there. Everybody stay right where you are. We're gonna have more of this horrific case. Who could do this to a 5-year-old child? Plus fast break.